Hey, what is up ladies and gentlemen, I'm Sonic the Hedgehog here, and I'm Sylvester here. We are back once again for the likes of the Moxie Toys videos. And ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to more Let's Play of Super Mario 3D World for the Nintendo Wii U. So last time we managed to explore through World 5, and now we're going to continue on and move on to World 6. Now, you remember how the fact that we already tackled through World 5 from earlier ago? That we decided to manage to actually off-screen ourselves to actually not only just actually showcase off, well, obviously judging by the fact that we can actually showcase the last two green stars we need to grab, and also the golden flagpoles for that as well. So yeah, that's the reason why we decided to actually just to say that right about now. So anyway, so let's go ahead and use Luigi in the first level in World 6 to start off with, and obviously forms of the Clear Pipe Cruise. Now, this particular level also heavily borrows from the likes of the E3 2013 playable demo, from the likes of, well, level, I would say level 6-1, which is usually the exact same number, so, yeah, as far as I can really gather about this, even then, that thing should be really, pretty used to at this point, so, yeah, because of this, though, yeah, that's how the usual premise of this particular level suggests is that the main premise of this level's gimmick is the fact that we need to constantly go in for those little, well, clear pipes, obviously. So even then, that's the only gimmick that we automatically managed to get used to at that one point. So yeah, you name a suggestion. So anyway, though. So there's quite a few things we would like to talk about for these certain stuff. Is the fact that recently they did recently showcase off these new footage on not only for I would say Mario & Luigi Superstar Saga plus Bowser's Millions, but I believe also they did manage to showcase off some new footage on Super Mario Odyssey for new levels and all that stuff, as far as I can see what this is going. And unfortunately we accidentally died from that point right there, because in order to actually just to get on to get the level stamp on this level is the fact that we need to actually perform ourselves a really difficult spin jump, and in order to actually perform this, that you need to, you know, rotate the lock stick and then also just press the jump button at the same time until you actually clarify you would able to actually just to perform a spin jump. So yeah, that's how you get yourselves the level stamp, obviously. And another thing I need to mention about this is the fact that we've recently managed to change our, well, we don't exactly change our YouTube name yet, because even then though, that we still currently the Moxie Toys at the moment. But the only major difference from our that account at the moment is the forms of our account is a little bit different. Now we decide to actually change that into a gmail.com this time around, because even then though we don't actually automatically access to yahoo.com or something like that. Because originally we decided to do that, because the reason being for that is because, oh yeah, by the way, the third and final green star we can only obtain, and now see forms of, you can either do it in two different methods actually. For one, you can either just let the lava piranha plant decide to spit out the fireballs, I'm assuming, to actually just to get rid of the, you know, the spiky objects in the clear pipe. Or simply just actually use the fire flower once you obtain that power up, and you should able to toss the fireballs right at them. So that's only like two different methods you can only deal with these kinds of stuff. So anyway, so here we go. For this part right there is the fact that we need to actually collect the 5, you know, coin keys in all that regards. Ever since you know, Sunshine Seaside or what have you. So even then though that or in this case well, Sunshine Seaside, if I do say so for myself. So anyway though, so yeah, our channel is still going on and running, so even then though, that you guys can clearly tell that we're still running on this at the moment. So even then though, and also we've still managed to get ourselves our Google Plus at the moment. Oh, that's Captain Toad, just having a fun ride on that particular clear pipe. Well, speaking of Captain Toad, is the fact that this is actually the last level in the likes of the Super Mario 3D World based levels in Captain Toad Treasure Tracker, by the way, because well, you know how the fact that once you get to the bonus books and all that stuff, this is one of the last levels that Captain Toad can actually explore from, because yeah, because the only time you can only explore was the forms of Super Bell Hill and Condor the Force and all that stuff. I kept on referencing that from Mario Party Star Rush as a minigame or subject, but I don't know exactly what the actual fully level name it was, known as in level 2-1, but even that I digress. And same goes for the Shadow Play Alley, so So yeah, and I believe that, you know, Clear Pipe Cruise is the last level for Captain Toad. So, Spooky Seasick Wreck, in this case, level 6 too. And differently from the likes of any other Haunted Beam level, is the fact that we're able to actually explore further shipwrecks. So even then though, as you can tell, that we're actually going to be, look at the rainy effects in this particular game. This is probably the most gorgeous part about the game. That you weren't able to expect it to have the fact that the rain itself, you can actually see these raindrops coming from the actual screen itself. Which to me, it looks very aesthetically pleasing for that, what have you, so... And also we managed to come across into those bully enemies, very similar to the ones in Super Mario 64, except the fact that, well, obviously it's all redesigned and everything like that. But these enemies do act out very similar to the bullies from Super Mario 64, is that you can able to actually knock them out while simply just shove them off the stage. So, that's how his memories goes, that's all there is to really say about this, so you get the idea. So the level stamp is not that bad to actually obtain, it's actually really easy to get, but the thing is that we need to actually get out of our way for that particular P-post right there, because sometimes that the water starts to either rise, or sometimes this decide to descend the water level, so yeah, as far as I can really think about it, so yeah, we'll get into these little kinds of stuff when we get into the later time throughout this particular Let's Play, because let's talk about our rant that we actually did manage to complain about ever since during the past few days, since yesterday. Because of this though, is that today was actually formed of the 20th of September, which in this case that we're still able to actually going to be still continuing on with our Super Mario 3D World until when before Super Mario Odyssey comes around. And speaking of such though, is that we did recently play ourselves on Nintendo Switch at the moment, and even then though, originally we managed to actually go into our halfway progressioning on Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. But there's something that's usually the most unfortunate thing I've ever done in my entire life. Basically, in order to actually just manage to realize about something is that there's actually a Nintendo eShop in Nintendo Switch. But here's my rant about this. You know how the fact that we actually got ourselves our email accounts and all that stuff? However though, that did not work with me at all. Like, literally, I know for the fact that a lot of people don't have many issues with that, but however though, for me, I just got really sick of the likes of how it usually becomes and what have you. Now, unlike the 3DS and especially Nintendo Wii U, I don't have as many issues to actually sign in for the Nintendo eShop account. However though, for Nintendo Switch, to me, in my honest opinion for this, and this is my rant here, I absolutely think this is the worst aspect about Nintendo Switch for me. I mean, sure it's a good for a laugh, but to me, in my opinion, that it does not able to let me sign in to the actual thing itself, because it only requires us to actually use the real email accounts. So every time we tried, and it doesn't work. It does not work. But anyway, enough about this little jibby jabber, but even then, it's a nice little feature for Nintendo Switch, don't get me wrong, but it's just the fact that how I got really annoyed that I could not able to actually get into that at all. So, but at least we still got Sonic Mania on the PlayStation 4 at least, though, Sonic. Yeah, I know that, right, because of the trophy system, and plus, I've heard from the Nintendo Switch version of Sonic Mania, it does have some little bit of technical hiccups, due to the, some game crashes and all that stuff. Oh yeah, by the way, here we are to level 6B, Fire Bros Hideout number 3. The only difference is this time around, though, is the fact that we're now going to be including the Boomerang Bros this time, in addition to the Hammer Bros as well. So I believe there's only one Fire Bro in this particular arena, so yeah, that's actually pretty worth mentioning. So, yeah, yeah, this is the reason why that I was in a little bit of a bad temper at the moment, especially noticeable during commentary-wise, because, not only that, but we've accidentally deleted our entire file of Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, and that just really pisses me off to no end. Which, even then though, that's why we essentially did manage to actually realize that we did actually fiddle around with our Nintendo Switch for a while, just to figure this out of how to actually get that damn eShop to actually access to, but doesn't work, and as a result, I entirely give up on that. But even then though, we're still able to get some couple of games or what have you, so even then though, there's no need for actually just the panicking or what have you. The only time it's a little bit too panicking, I might add, is for the DLC content for both Zelda Breath of the Wild, and also not to mention, you know, Mario and Rabbids Kingdom Battle, because as far as I can gather, that it does have the expansion story elements to the mix, which even then though, I was really excited for it, but unfortunately that's not the case. So anyways, here we go, on to level 6-3, Hands on Hole. So, I think we should pretty much stuck with Blue Toad in this level, because even then though, we haven't gone to Blue Toad ever since, I would have mentioned how the fact that, when did we last time we usually used him? I could imagine it will probably be, Fire Bros Hideout number 2. Yeah, I can imagine about that. I actually really like this level actually, because it kind of reminds me like I was actually exploring through, Chunan Day from Sonic Unleashed, and also at the same time we managed to, speaking of the Chunan, that we're actually going to be exploring the inside the actual, building based off from China. So even then though, that's actually a pretty cool level. And you can also use the Wii U gamepad until you actually decide to interact with those little door openings. So even then though, you can clarify for doing that way. So yeah, that's pretty cool. And there's actually featuring probably the most uniquest power-up throughout, and that's the forms of the Goomba Mask. Well, if you actually got this thing on, then what happens was though is the fact that it will allows you to actually just manage to protect yourself without even getting spotted by the enemies. Mainly, all the enemies most likely too. So take these enemies for example, that we don't able to get spotted by these guys. So, and especially noticeable, although not all the enemies all the time. Oh, you damn stupid coin trap. I can't believe how that usually just ruins that for my department, so... Yeah, I apologize of how my mood has actually gone a little bit too much of a mixed bag. Well, also not to mention though, that we're going to be doing with a new Let's Play coming up tomorrow. Well, at least as far as, I don't know when someone else is going to do that, but even then though, yeah, we'll just have to wait and see what happens. And even then though, I'm not really looking forward to the new Let's Play coming up tomorrow, because, well, you know how the fact that we already tackled through most of the Mario Party games. Even then though, there's one particular Mario Party game we'd love to tackle throughout, but even then though, we only have to do it just for the sake of like, well, obviously that because of the Mario Party, the top 100 is almost on its way from doing in North America actually, and also doing it in Japan, but we have to wait for a long amount of time for European countries, which is also another thing that's usually just makes my rant about release dates every now and then for some games I was most likely excited for, but I digress. Hopefully during the next couple of videos in this particular Let's Play, that we would able to get ourselves a moodiness to start to cheer up. So, yeah, because as a result, we have to play our own time on Mario Kart 8 Deluxe again, just to actually unlock everything again. And hopefully, God forbid, we're not gonna actually fiddle around like an idiot and even deleted everything. So even then though, we're not gonna let that happen. So, but now obviously, since we got ourselves our micro SD card inserted into our Nintendo Switch so far, and even then though, that we can able to use that, we'll actually decide to actually play tons of games for that particular thing. So, I don't know how much storage I will able to hold up to, but even though as far as I can gather is that in the original system memories that you can only hold up to 2 panels, so... Oh yeah, before you actually leave, there's actually this mystery box while simply just able to tap in this little giant cymbal instrument of any kind, and then that way we would able to actually instantly transport the inside part of the actual outside field part to actually deal with the spike enemy, and then we would able to get ourselves a third and final green star. So yeah, I actually really enjoyed this level actually, probably the coolest level themed in this particular game so far, so even then I actually really enjoyed it. I kinda wish that that particular level environment does make a return for the likes of, I would say for the new Super Mario Bros. Game. Well, usually technically, newer Super Mario Bros. Wii does technically has that in World 4. But even then though, as far as I've heard from a lot of rumors, they're trying to make a new 2D Mario game as possible. Oh, goodness gracious me, what do we have here? It looks like there's going to be a new enemy going to be faced off against, but we're not going to do that yet because we decided to do level 6-4 next, which is called Deep Jungle Drift. And for this level, we're going to be using Mario, because we haven't usually selected Mario in World 6 for quite a while now. So hopefully there's going to be a chance to actually just able to actually just to avoid a lot of poisonous water of any kind, because obviously we're not going to touch those. So anyway though. Now, apart from those side of things, but we still able to actually get ourselves our yahoo.co.uk during the likes of the My Nintendo account, and even especially noticeable any online capabilities. So even then though, as far as Nintendo Switch is concerned, we're still able to have the ability to actually play online play. So even then though, we're still able to get that. But unfortunately though, we can't able to actually get ourselves these downloadable purchases on the eShop though. So even then though, that for the meantime, though, we'll just have to stuck with physical releases, because as far as I can gather that, it might take a lot of blocks to actually use the digital download purchases, so that's why we always attempt to collect the physical releases for every single console. Well, there are some exceptions, which mainly due to the NES games on the Wii, and also same applies to the Super Nintendo as well, because the original copies of the NES cartridges, even for the Super Nintendo cartridges, that some of them are pretty cheap, while other times it gets really expensive, especially noticeable how they're due to the sell points. So, yeah, that's one thing I need to clarify for that right about now. And speaking of Star Stars, though, we only got 9 more days left until the classic NES, what am I trying to say? Sorry for a bit of a tongue twisting in the end, I do apologize for that. The SNES Classic Mini, or in this case the Super Nintendo Classic Mini, was about to be revealed during almost 9 days ahead. But unfortunately though, due to the online services during the actual shopping department, is that it temporarily out of stock easier. So, yeah, that's one thing I need to point out though. So anyway though. So, anyway, enough about this though, stupid ranting that we've actually pointed things out though. Oh, besides the fact that, speaking of Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, is the fact that we decided to actually delay, quite a bit for Mario Kart 8, Mario Kart 8 Redo Let's Play, because the thing is that, I can imagine now the fact that, I don't know who did manage to done that Let's Play so far, I'm presuming it's Piglet and Luigi. Piglet and Luigi hasn't done Mario Kart Wii for quite a while, so that's why we decided to actually delay Mario Kart 8 Let's Play for the time being. Well, at least both for the Nintendo Wii U and also Nintendo Switch as well. So, we figure we actually decide to actually announce that for you guys. So, you had to get the idea. Okay, so don't touch this wall block over there, because there's actually a third and final green star, just to only actually get ourselves the cat power-up. Well, at least the majority, some of the collectibles, mainly the stamp and the, just only those 2 green stars, only for the cat power-up to get. Well, there's only one exception, which forms of this clear pipe, so even then that's actually really easier to obtain. So anyways, that does it for the Deep Jungle Drift. So even then we're now able to move on to the next enemy encounter. So even then that we need to know what this guy's known as. But hopefully we can actually guarantee by that. So hopefully we can actually play ourselves Mario Kart 8 Deluxe in our own time again until we actually fully restored everything, technically speaking for that. Okay, so this is known as Prince Bully Blockable. So Prince Bully is essentially the giant variation of the regular Bully enemies from we already saw from before, except the notable difference was though is the look of them, or even not to mention the method of defeating him. Differently from the regular Bully, although you're still able to have the ability to jump onto him, but even then though, especially noticeable if you actually have yourselves a cat power-up with you, then you would able to actually just to constantly using the claw attack in order to actually just knock him back easier. So yeah, for this particular battle, it's very simple. Is that you have to recommend you're actually going to be waiting until when his shape is actually like that, like a can, like a cylinder can or something like that, and you would able to actually just to kick him out during at least 3 times. So once you deal with that successfully, then boom, there you go. So yeah, and we would able to actually continue on from this point. So even then though, let's see what these next couple of levels that awaits us. Well, obviously a snowy themed level, and of course the other levels. So even then though, we can guarantee what this is coming up. So we might as well have to, like, you know, just trying to do it in one particular order. So, you know, we get the idea. Okay, so let's go for level 6-5, known as Toy Furries, as far as I'm concerned with that little spelling correctly. So So in this level's gimmick is the fact that we're going to be coming across into those little toy Flolos right here, the giant variations of the Flow enemies ever since New Super Mario Bros. Wii and New Super Mario Bros. U especially. Oh yeah, we have these new types of enemies in this game, which yeah, that do kind of reminds me of almost related to the likes of how it does in Super Mario 3D Land counterparts, except the fact that they're just a little bit too tricky and also just a little bit, you know, quite faster too. So the level stamp in this level is the fact that we need to hop into this little Kuribo sledge until we actually decide to actually come across into those spikes, and then we would able to actually get ourselves our level stamp. So yeah, that's all there is to really think about it. Alright, so let's go ahead and climb up here, because there's actually the next green star just on top of these set of blocks. So, but the thing is though, is that we need to actually find ourselves the invincible block in order to actually just to find the way to actually get on top of it. So even though we weren't able to actually just to get that part successfully. But before warning though, is that you need to actually avoid this little toy of flow right there, because we don't want to get blown off, because man, the wind adjustment for those little tire flow enemies, they are really overpowered. Which even then though, that might be somewhere a little bit more. Ah, I did not meant to do that. No, 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 no. Ah, dang it. We'll meet you right back. Alright, let's try this again, shall we? So, we're not gonna, I highly suggest you don't ground pound, but there's actually two different methods you can actually distract those little guys. For one, you can either chuck the fireballs right at them, or simply just use a Wii U gamepad until you actually decide to stop them blowing. So even then though, that's actually a really cool way to actually just, you know, distract them every once in a while. So yeah, you get the idea with this little suggestion for that, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, quick edit right there, sorry about that folks. I got a little bit of an interruption down how the fact that one of the Powerpuff Girls, mainly Blossom, Bubbles, and Buttercup, there's going a little bit too much of the slumber party going on here, because as far as I can gather, those three trios always invited these ponies, mainly Rarity and Applejack and Twilight Sparkle, ever since Look Before You Sleep episode. But even then though, they just managed to actually just almost barge into our recording session, so even then though, we decided to jump cut at that point. So anyway, so here we go, there's the last green star. Now, I highly suggest you until you wait until the wind current as soon as it appears for a second or two, and then instantly grab it as soon as you actually jump from below. Well, thankfully though, the gusts of wind did actually help you from recovery on it, so that's a really interesting start for that little department. So anyway, let's go ahead and just walk past those guys, and hopefully we're not going to get blown off, which speaking of such, we didn't. So yeah, this level's not too hard. The only time it makes it a little bit difficult is the forms of the how strong it was with this little gust of wind, because you're expecting that you're able to be safe from that, what have you, but when it comes to actually deal with these little narrow paths or anything like that, then prepare yourselves a lot of waiting patience whenever you're trying to wait in them to stop blowing. But even then, that's the only trickiest part about this. So anyway, that's that level done. And now we should be able to move on to level 66, aka, I'm assuming this is actually, I believe this might actually be the last level that is actually based off of from E3 2013, because we got level 2-1, which is originally really Rolling Hills, and also the Pepsi level, which is originally level 1-5 in the E3 2013 version. And then the final version is of course a level 9, no, not level 9, level 1-4, sorry about that. And also that we saw the Histocat battle from ever since during the likes of, you know, the E3 2013 demo, as well as the final version. And also the Clear Pipe Cruise, and finally we're now able to move on to Blipville Base. Which I believe that's what the level's named as. So even then though, that as far as memory suggests, it's basically like a facility level of any kind, but with it filled with bullet bills and everything, expecting bonsai bills coming up as well. So now obviously we already know what we're doing for this level, because we already saw this footage ever since in E3 2013 demo back in June, almost 4 years ago actually, because you know it's 2017 right now. So. And the requires of the Green Stars department in this particular level suggests, and especially the stamp as well, is that it most likely requires you to use the cat power-up. So even then though, that Well, specifically, the first 2 green stars requires us to use the cat power-up, while the stamp, and especially the final green star, that we can actually discuss more to that as soon as we actually proceed. So, anyway though, let's go ahead and climb up for those little clouds that we can instantly manage to go bypass for those. So even then though, that's actually pretty worthwhile for that little mentioning of any kind. Alright, so let's go ahead and climb up, hopefully we can actually do that. Now, for this particular third and final green star, is that you can either do it in 2 different methods. Is that for one, as you can see, we actually did manage to reach it with the cat power-up, or simply just able to actually clip for that cloud and ground pounded it, and then you would able to get it that way. So, nice little alterations between these 2 different methods while getting the green star itself. And let's grab the stamp right there. So even then, though, we would able to fully completely done with that. So, yeah, it's pretty cool stuff. Alrighty. That's that level done. Ooh, wait. So far, I'm actually feeling really better right now, because it's especially noticeable that it's been a while since, you know, going back into Super Mario 3D World again. Well, usually we already got some of these recording sessions on Super Mario 3D World so far. But even under that, we're hopefully trying to actually complete this game until, again, before when Super Mario Odyssey comes around. So, at least I was hoping for that until at the very end of October, but we'll discuss more details until we actually get into the latest part of the game, actually. So, anyways, now we move on to level 6-7, and obviously forms of Fuzzy Flood Mine. As far as the level suggests, we're getting chased by these whole flooded sea of fuzzies. In fact, a whole flooded sea of, well, fuzzies in general. So, because of this though, if you manage to get him down all the way down to the bottom where there's like, you know, tons of fuzzies surrounded, what happens was though is the fact that you automatically die as soon as you actually get crowded with fuzzies. So, watch out for that. So, yeah, just be cautious. So, I don't really think there's not much else to say about this for the most part, besides the fact that I was really excited for the next My Little Pony, the movie news. It's the fact that, this time around though, they've now actually added in those TV adverts. So even then though, they only get like, only 3 TV spots so far, which only consist of Generations, the behind the scenes, or behind the cast, members, and I can't really remember what's the other one, but even then though, I was still super excited for this. And speaking of so-so, it's the fact that, they actually did manage to showcase the next movie, and during that oh, thank you, Goomba, for actually letting us a little bit of a lift. Which, you know, actually leads us to that seesaw, which actually leads us to the green star itself. So anyway though, yeah, what was I gonna say? Oh yeah, I did double check on the Odeon website from earlier ago. What happens was though, is they did recently announce there's gonna be the next LEGO movie, which is in forms of the LEGO Ninjago movie. So even then though, I might be a little bit excited for it, but even then though, not as like super excited compared to My Little Pony the movie that was to me, because of, well, basically for everything. So, anyways, let's go ahead and use our cat power up right there, because obviously Toad's jump is a little bit too low by comparison's sake. But still, regardless of that we would able to actually finish the level with normally. So there we go. Yeah, meow for that right there. Meow that. Okay then, so that does it for that, and we got ourselves a fuzzy stamp over there. So, now, before we actually hit on to the last level in World 6, we're gonna need to go ahead and move on to, I'm assuming there's gonna be a mystery house in this level actually, or in this case in this world. So, yeah, you get the idea for that one point, a little far from between all 2. So, yeah, let's go ahead and hit into this pipe down there. And speaking of such, there's a mystery box, in this case a mystery house. Okay, so Mystery House Throwdown. So as far as the level suggests, it's the fact that the basic premise of this Mystery House gimmick is going to be focused this time around. Is the fact that we have to throw the baseballs at the actual premise of these obstacles. So, yeah, there are a grand total of 5 green stars in this particular Mystery House, unlike the ones in from before, like the ones, you know, Mad Dash version. Because of this though, that it just makes it a little bit sometimes to actually complete them. See, I found some of these, you know, segments like this is super easy, but the only one exception was the 4th one, as you can see. That, if you remember playing, like, a Pachiko machine or something like that, that's the entire premise of this particular concept was heavily borrowed. But at least if you until you actually gave yourself a lucky shot until when the baseball itself automatically hits to the power block, then you were able to actually get rid of these powder buds so easier. So there we go, we managed to complete that level done. Sweet. Sweet victory for my department. Oh, speaking of such though, is the fact that we haven't actually discussed on this actually. There's going to be bringing up some more news from Sonic Forces. Well, most notably in the PC version, PlayStation 4, and Xbox One version. They're going to be bringing up a DLC for Sonic Forces, but not just any Sonic Forces DLC, like the alternate costumes for, you know, the customizable avatar character, but more notably, the next story campaign for that little department, which is the forms of Episode Shadow, not to be confused as Episode Metal from Sonic the Hedgehog 4. Basically, for Episode Shadow is that it most likely takes place in some of these segments as you're going to be taking control of Shadow the Hedgehog. So, yeah, I'm actually really excited for this, actually, because it has been for 11 years since the last time you actually be playing as Shadow for the mainstream Sonic titles, ever since Sonic the Hedgehog 2006, actually, so... Anyway, before we get into that, here we're on to World 6 tank, known as Bowser's Bob-omb Barrage. Not to be confused as Bob-omb Barrage from the likes of the minigame name from Mario Party 2. And I don't know why we're going for Peach for the third time, even though originally we decided to go ahead and use Luigi on this level. But unfortunately though, that we automatically gone too late, because even then because again, that has been a really long time since we actually come back to this game, so even then that I just got sometimes serious short-term memory loss sometimes, so got to point things out right now. Alright, so right off the bat though, is that most like how it does in World 2 is basically a tank level of any kind, and it's, you know, constant honor scrolling for that point right there. So everything else in this particular level is very similar to the ones in from World 2. Except the fact that it gets a little bit difficult this time. Oh, no need for a to ground pound for this center block, and sadly we actually did lost by that. We accidentally lost the you know, Tanuki power up because thanks to those damn Hammer Bros, for that matter, decided to actually distract us. So hopefully we get ourselves power up again thanks to red coins as far as I can see. So let's go ahead and grab one. Now, obviously, some of these collectibles still requires us to use the Bob-ombs to begin with, so even then, I'll take this Bob-omb for example. And if we toss it from this little particular solid block, then we would able to get ourselves the second green star. Now, the third and final green star is actually pretty simple to actually obtain it. Sorry for a lack of dialogue there, folks, because there's not much else to actually say about this properly, but especially noticeable how the fact that I was actually pretty in a bad mood, as I mentioned earlier, because of how I accidentally deleted the whole entire system for the likes of the Nintendo Switch. So even then, I was really hoping I won't do it again. So yeah, as far as I can gather, because of how the fact that, because you know, kept on fiddling around with these kinds of stuff like this issue is happening. So yeah, I highly recommend ground pounding from here, just in case you get yourself a green star with these. So, and of course, most like how it does in World 2 tank level, it's the fact that we need to carry the bomb automatically go all the way from here until we get ourselves a level stamp. So, a bit of a replacement transfer to how it does it for the actual green star in the likes of, you know, World 2 tank if I recall. But anyway though. Alright, so now we're going to be fighting against with Boom Boom for the second time in this game. Because even now, unfortunately though, unlike how it does in Super Mario 3D Land, that you see him most of the time, but unfortunately in this game this time around though, is that you don't usually see him as much compared to 3D Land. So, yeah, that's one thing I need to point things out though, when it comes to character appearances and all that stuff. So, well, that's besides the point. So, there's not much anything difficult about this boss fight, besides the major difference between the first encounter with him as he forms out this time around though, is the fact that much like Pompon, he'll start to actually duplicate himself and actually transform to him into a shell formation. So, again, not that much of a challenge to begin with, so even then though, that should be pretty easy. So, anyways, let's go ahead and rescue the 6th Sprinkly Princess to begin with, and we would able to actually finish off with World 6 during that time. At least, as far as if it's over yet. Well, we don't know about that yet, though, Sylvester, because we have to go through this particular sequence first, before we actually finish up with World 6 entirely. Yeah, I can imagine that. Alright, so the level stamp is the forms of these little troop enemies, so yeah, there's not much else to say about this. So yeah, let's see how much green stars we actually obtained. 171. I think we actually got plenty of green stars at this one point or another, because especially noticeable about the fact that, you know, unlike in Super Mario Galaxy 2, they only get a grand total of like 120 green stars to obtain from, and 122 gold stars for that matter, so that makes 242 stars to collect. So even then though, I can imagine how the fact that if what happens in the Super Mario Odyssey comes around, and during that, how the fact that it will contain even a lot more power moons, as far as I can really heard about that. Oh, wait a minute. World 6 wasn't exactly over yet, because we're still able to come across into this little tent of any kind, or circus tent. Which now actually leads us to, I'm assuming this might actually be World 6C, which is the forms of the multi boss blobs, what's that text saying? Big battle. So in this case, we'll go for Luigi Man! Can you gain that, please? Thank you. Oh, sorry about that, Sonic. I was trying to figure out what character I'll be selecting through. But even then, though, let's go ahead and just go right over there until what item we actually get. It's the Double Cherry! Don't know why we got a Double Cherry to begin with, but I think it's probably because, it's most likely due to this boss right here. So even then, though, let's see how this boss is going to be handed out into. Good lord, he looks really menacing. Yeah, especially noticeable how the fact that his voice looks really creepy. I mean, it does almost resembles to Dimentio from Super Paper Mario, but comes close. But except there's no paper formation of him, so even then, yeah. So yeah, this is the reason why they're always sending us the Double Cherry just to begin with, because as you can see, the entire weak spot was actually forms of the actual Joker itself. And then obviously you have to jump on him at least 3 times. Now the reason why, because of this though, that he decided to transform into his bigger formation of the actual clown monster himself. And sometimes you'll occasionally jump around every once in a while. As soon as he jumps for that point over there, there's your chance to actually strike on him. So if you do like 3 times, then boss is over. I think this is a prime example of how the fact they decide to actually let us the Double Cherry to begin with, because there's gonna be a lot of blobs every time when he his true formation, or in this case the blob formation of himself, just managed to cover up the blobs. Hey, you have Luigi again, or at least multiple Luigis. But even then though, it does remind me of almost related to Mario Luigi Dream Team Brothers for that department for Dreamy Luigi, as far as I can see for this is happening. But anyways, now that World 6 is fully completed, so even then though, much like World 3, that, you know, it does have an extra level before we actually move on to the next world. So, 6 worlds down, and only 2 more to go actually, because speaking of such though, it's the fact that we almost nearly up and towards the skies. So 172 green stars we got in total right now. So, and I think this little you know, this little, I can't remember what I can think about it, but anyway, so let's go ahead and double check in our checklist. And it looks like we fully completed everything, so not too bad, not too shabby at the same time. So yeah, let's go ahead and just head on to this next clear pipe right here. And we would able to instantly transport into World 7, which I believe is actually known as World Castle. So tune us next time on Let's Play Super Mario 3D World. It's about that we're going to be moving on to World Castle, aka World 7. So see you guys next time. Later fellas, see you guys then.